Positive energy all the time. Good to see you all today. Hope you're doing great, feeling well. Salute to Hawkeye. Salute to Mo Power. Salute to Michael Manuel. Make sure you go check out the Body Sculpture Challenge. Get that workout in. Record yourself working out and post it with a hashtag Body Sculpture Challenge. Rastaman is in the building. Good to see you. Good to see you, Onyx. So I'm going to start a new series, and I'm going to be doing a lot of plant-based, vegan, ITIL history. For those who don't know, ITIL is a Jamaican term, which means vital. ITIL is vital, vitality. And I'm going to be doing a lot of information on that, on ITIL, on plant-based eating, on vegan, alkaline. But I'm going to be doing some historical content because I just turned 47. I just turned 67, but I've been a plant-based for 47 years. So I have turned 47 as a vegan. So it's my 47th year plant-based, 67th year in life, in this body. And, I changed the way I ate way back in 1978. And the way I changed is, I wrote it down. It's written. This is called The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan, right? And this manual is a manual that basically covers how I changed the way I ate. Basically. So this covers how I changed the way I ate. And when I started doing live streams on my other channel, I constantly were telling people the process that I use to change the way I eat. And then I came up with the great idea that, you know what, instead of constantly repeating that, instead of constantly saying it over, let me write it down, put it in a small manual, and all you have to do is order this, and this will help you eat better. And this is the best way to change the way you eat, because this way allows you to go nice and slow. If you're trying to change the way you eat, you want to make sure you stay healthy. So you have to know what you're doing. You just can't cut a bunch of stuff out and add a bunch of stuff, because there's a lot to it. So it's not just as simple as you think, but with this is very simple. This is a very easy way to do it. Make sure you pick this up. This is a lifesaver. And also, you can give it to family members. Order some and give it to family members. The easiest way to become a vegan, www.veganintel.com.
Peace, health, and longevity. If you want to consume more plant-based foods, if you want to abstain from junk foods, if you want to consume fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and herbs, and avoid dead flesh, artificial flavors and colorings, sweeteners, anything that is unreal basically. Purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan by Pharaoh Ramesses El Aton, who has been a vegan 40 plus years. He will take you step by step on how to abstain from the junk foods, how to abstain from the dead flesh, the chicken, the turkey, the pork, beef, and all sorts of animal products. Purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan, to eat more natural. Remember that the herbs are for the healing of the nations. Let food be your medicine and let medicine be your food. Consume of every fruit-bearing and herb-bearing tree. Unto you it shall be for meat. Purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan by Pharaoh Ramesses El Aton. Peace, health, and longevity.
So yeah, that's surely a way to help you out. I'm going to be talking about that next today. In a couple of hours, I'm going to do a presentation on that to try to help give you some information on that. You want to go nice and slow. Good to see you. Word sound is power. Positive energy, ital is vital, and all that. Also, before we get started, okay, remember, we're writing down, yes, it's Black History Month, but it's also Heart Health Awareness Month, okay? Okay, February is American Heart Month. So take that into consideration. Do your research on how to take care of your heart. Do your research on the problems people are having with their heart. And check on your family to make sure that they're doing the best they could do when it comes to taking care of their heart. So today, I want to do some history because of my time being plant-based. I need to document the history. I mostly use YouTube to document the information so that the information is documented for historical purposes. And this is something that definitely needs to be documented. As I talk about what it was like way back in 1978, changing the way I ate. In 1978, I was only 20 years old. I had only been out of high school 2 years. And I decided I wanted to change the way I ate. And one part of history that might get lost is the businesses that helped many of us eat better. And the great thing about these particular businesses that we used to go and shop at, they basically sum up the purpose of going plant-based vegan. The purpose of going plant-based vegan was not to save the animals. That is incorrect. The purpose of going plant-based vegan was for your health. It was for your health. It had nothing to do with the animals. It was for your health. And as we began to explain why we were vegans at that time, didn't even call ourselves vegans, we call ourselves vegetarians. And for those that don't know, the word vegan comes from the word vegetarian, where they took the first letters and the last letters in the word vegetarian. and made the word vegan. A lot of people don't know that. So the word vegan comes from the word vegetarian, where they took the first word, the first few letters, and the last two letters, and that's how you get the word vegan. And it was for your health. And the proof of that is because the places we used to go had juice bars, and they were called health food stores. And health food stores back in the 70s was the center point of where people went that were trying to change the way they were eating. This was all done at the health food store. That's how you know it was about our health. And at that time, we called ourselves vegetarians. In 1978, I called myself a vegetarian. I didn't start calling myself a vegan till probably 1988, 10 years later, before I realized I was a vegan. Here in the city of Chicago, back in 78, 79, 80, the basic way that we changed, the basic way I changed how I ate was just to modify what my parents raised us on, coming from Alabama. My parents were born in Alabama. So as a little boy coming up, before we started getting into all the burgers and pizzas and all of that, that started happening like 9, 10, 11, 12, But the typical meal for a Black American family that lived in Detroit and Chicago was the same meal that was consumed in Mississippi and Alabama. So we mostly ate greens, string beans, black eyed peas, collard greens, mustard greens, turnip greens, sweet potatoes, baked potatoes, corn on the cob. This was the basic staple. String beans, the ones you could pop, and we used to help our mother prepare them. And then meat was just like 1/6 of the meal, sometime 1/7, depending on how many sides they made. And so the meat was always a side dish. It wasn't really considered a main part of your food. I remember my parents would give us our plate and we'd grab the chicken, and my mother would say, "Put that chicken down and eat your food." So it was really interesting how it was a distinguished chicken from the food, because they knew the nutrition was in the greens, the black eyed peas, the string beans, the corn on the cob, the sweet potato. They knew that is where your nutritional value was at. And so what we did to be able to make that change was, when I made that change, I just went back to what my parents taught me and just made it in a natural way. So I just went back to black eyed peas and sweet potatoes and corn on the cob and cabbage and all these things. This is how I became a vegan. I went back to the old school soul food, but without the salt. You know what I'm saying? At that time, we didn't have sea salt. We used to use kelp. Kelp is a sea plant. So our salt was kelp. We didn't have any plant based margarine. So we used nutritional yeast and olive oil, that yellow nutritional yeast. That's what we used with olive oil. That was the old school. I know that sounds crazy, but nutritional yeast was old school butter. That's how we made our butter, to make our food have some type of buttery. We would use this nutritional yeast and olive oil. And so, like, you take your baked potato, you cut it open, you put that nutritional yeast in there, pour some olive oil. I mean, it's delicious. It's better than butter, to be honest with you, for sure. It definitely tastes better. It's very good, and it's nutritional. So this is how we was able to make the changes in the way we were eating. And back in those days, there wasn't a lot. There was some health food stores. Most of the health food stores was downtown Chicago, and most of the health food stores did not have food. Okay, because most of what they called the health food stores was mostly juice bars and a lot of vitamins and nutrients, a lot of pills, vitamins, nutrients, a lot of a lot of herbs, teas, a lot of tea, stuff like that. Wasn't a lot of food. You know what I mean? Wasn't a whole lot of food. Oh, that's great, Onyx. That's great. You're doing great. So there wasn't a lot of food in the health food store. And when I was downtown, I would go in there and just get a some type of vegetable drink made up and go back to work. But there was one spot that had things to help you cook. And I used to go all the way from the far south side of Chicago all the way down to Diversey in Newtown to Sherwin's. And Sherwin's was the one place where you could find plant based margarine. There was only one type of plant based margarine that was out at that time. And it was called Willowbrook. Let me see if I can find it. Uh, okay, it looks like it don't look like I can find. I'm going to find a picture of that somewhere one day so that I could try to show that history of that company. Oh, this is this it? This says Willow Run. It looks like it, but I thought it was called Willowbrook. So I'm going to try to find that too. But I'm not sure if this. I don't think this is it, but it sure looks like it. Sure looks like it. This might be it. But I'll do my research before I show it. But that's how we used to get our food. And here in Chicago, the first place that I was able to go get some food already prepared was a place called Brother Tim's. He had a vegetarian burger. The second place was the Hebrew Israelites in 1981, right before I left here. And they opened Soul Vegetarian. And so I've pretty much been supporting Soul Vegetarian for 40 something years. Because I supported them before I left and I supported them when I got back. in 1990, and I've been supporting them ever since. So this was one of the places, and the other place was called the Chicago Diner, which this opened in 1983. I was gone, but they had another place called a bread shop down the street, right down the street from Sherwin's. If you just keep walking in that direction you're looking at, then you would get to the bread shop. And the guy that ran the bread shop across the street, they had like a little restaurant. And him and the woman, they hooked up there. And then they went further north on Houston and opened up the Chicago Diner. But by that time, I was already had moved to LA on my way to Hawaii. But I do support Chicago Diner. These are some of the old school originals when it comes to plant based. Soul Vegetarian, Sherwin's Health Food Store, which was the best health food store in the city of Chicago, and the Chicago Diner. And so the places we used to go were called health food stores. And these were the originators, and these are new health food stores. Many of the old health food stores are gone. So I can't show you pictures of the old health food stores. But these are the more newer health food stores. The only older one I can show you that I found so far was Sherwin's. And these health food stores were basically the root of being able to eat. That was the old school Whole Foods. Okay. Now we can get many of our plant based items and things at Whole Foods. But back in those days, we had to go to the health food store. And in the health food store, it was limited products in there. And so we mostly cooked whole foods back in those days in order to be able to eat right. There was no sea salt chips or nothing like that too much. They were beginning to come out with some, but the products weren't really that good. It took a long time before the plant based products got as good as they are now. That's why I'm a firm supporter of all the plant based burgers and things like that, because that's a part of progress. That younger people wouldn't understand what that is and what that's all about and how much work it took to get like that. Because back in the late 70s, early 80s, and through the 80s, there was no burger that tastes right or no vegan hot dog. They were all horrible. I never got a good burger until I got to LA, whereas a black brother in LA had a vegan burger joint called Orion's. That was the first time I was able to get a good burger. He made his own burger from Whole Foods, and it was off the chain. This is some of the history, so I just wanted to document the history on how we went from health food stores to Whole Foods. And the health food store really needs to get some respect. Okay, so he said, okay, now you're bringing back memories. They had the first plant based desserts I ate in 1978. They did begin to have some plant based desserts. You know what I'm saying? They really did. They began to do that. That is for sure. That is absolutely for sure. They began to make certain treats and things for us that we were very, very, very excited. And welcome to all you old school vegans that's over here checking me out. I'm glad you're here, and all you new ones too. We're going to really keep the history alive. And sometime you'll come over here and I'll give you a serious flashback, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to tell you one, a big deal that hit the stores. There was a big deal that hit the stores back in 79, those eras like that. And it sent shockwaves through the health food store industry and us vegetarians at the time, because we wasn't calling ourselves vegans. We went crazy. And this product really did well. Drum roll. Ginseng Rush came out with a soda. And that was one of the first plant based treats that was similar to what we was used to, like a plant based vegan Coca Cola. And it did exceptionally well. Everybody was extremely excited to get their hands on a Ginseng Rush by Coors. This is some old school stuff. I don't even know if they're still in business anymore. But this is part of the process. So some of you all that's vegans now, you'll know the process, how long it took us to get to having cereal. Took us a long time to have something to drink, juices, cereal, burgers, cookies, cakes. Took a long time for us to learn how to use various plant-based ingredients to get the cake to be soft, to get the bread to be soft. It's really an art form. So when a lot of people, when they see these plant-based treats and stuff, and they probably wonder why I buy them sometimes, because it's a real art form. It really took some real culinary skills to learn how to cook without butter, without margarine, to learn how to make a soft cake bread that's not bone hard. When I became a vegan in 1978, nobody knew how to make bread. Nobody knew how to make bread. But these people and the African Hebrew Israelites that ran Soul Vegetarian, they knew how to make everything. Those two businesses were really at the forefront of making a lot of items for us to be able to consume. It took a lot of work to get to that point. So I just wanted to give a salute. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to just give a salute to the health food stores that even still here in the original health food stores, and to the old places where we could go and get food already pre-cooked, and to all the great health food stores, especially Sherwin's, because Sherwin's was the one place that didn't just have a bunch of vitamins or herbs. They actually had food. They actually had grains. They actually had like pancake mix and uh, uh, cornbread mix, and they had all of the different flours that you could get. So at a place like Sherwin, you can go pick up a box of falafel, but then you could go and read the ingredients and you could get a bag of each one of the ingredients and then make your own falafel. There was also a health food store in Hawaii. I'm going to find that and talk about that, where we could go and just get the ingredients and make our own falafels or make our own burgers or make our own, because we would just read the ingredients and just buy the ingredients, just to have drums full of the natural ingredients, any type of powder you need, any type of flour or anything grinded up that you needed into a powder you needed to make something, they carried all that. The spelt, all that stuff, they carried all of that. All the different types of things you would use if you wanted to cook. You know what I'm saying? They had the hot dogs in a little plastic thing too, but they was just horrible. They didn't know how to make them. You know, they didn't know how to make them that good. So, you know, nobody really bought them. They was horrible. And the veggie burgers were horrible. And so we ate a lot of avocado sandwiches because once we found out that, you know, the nice, creamy, oil based avocado sandwiches, now we got something popping. But we had to really struggle to to you know, be able to get something to eat. Seriously. Even with bread, it was very difficult to find bread. Very difficult. Very difficult to find bread back in those days. And I never forget when finally the store finally had some halfway decent bread. And that was a big deal that I can go into the store and get me some halfway decent bread uh, in a regular store. That was just unheard of, you know. These are the things that people take for granted nowadays. It was unheard of to even be able to find bread that didn't have a bunch of uh, dairy products and stuff in it. So one of the first breads that hit the store that made it so that we could be able to eat and go to just a regular store instead of a health food store. I'll never forget it. And still today, I buy some of their breads. But this was the first bread I was able to go to a regular store, a Jewel's store, and get by Brownberry. It was called Health Nut. Now, this is a newer packaging, but the older packaging was a little different. But this is the first bread I was able to finally go in the store and get this health nut bread. It didn't have none of the bad ingredients in it. It was all had a bunch of nuts in it too. So that's why they call it health nuts because it was full of nuts in the bread, pumpkin seeds and all that right in the bread. So this was the first bread I was able to go so I could make me some toast with all my vegetables. You know what I'm saying? I had the vegetables. I might want to have a couple pieces of toast. So this was the first place I was able to get some toast. And they had a margarine called Willowbrook, I thought, but it might be this other one. It might be this Willow Run. It does look familiar. So I'm thinking now it might be Willow Run. It was like the first margarine. Uh, like the first margarine I was able to find. And that's why I would go all the way up to Sherwin's just to get this Willow Run margarine. And I really think it is Willow Run instead of Willowbrook. And this is it right here because I remember the yellow box. This was the first No artificial preservative, no artificial flavors, lactose free. It was soybean margarine. Soy was a big deal. You know what I mean? Soy was a big deal. We was happy. That's why I got a lot of respect for soy, because soy played a big role in creating a lot of vegans and vegetarians. I remember going to a Chinese restaurant. And I figured I go to this Chinese restaurant, I could get some fried rice and vegetables. I'm going on a date with my queen. We go in a Chinese restaurant, and I say, "Listen, I'm a vegetarian, so I want some fried rice and I want vegetables." And I remember the man, he said, "You want tofu?" And I said, "What?" Because I didn't know what tofu was. I was a meat eater. I just converted. So he said, "You want tofu?" I said, "Tofu, what is that?" He says, "Made from a bean, from a soybean." I said, "It's not meat or nothing." He's like, "No." So I was like, "Yeah, let me get some tofu fried rice." And I told him, I want onions in there, bell peppers, and all this stuff. So, man, he fried that up and brought it. Oh, man, I was so excited. This was probably 1978, 79. I was so excited that I could go to a restaurant and get something to eat. It was unbelievable. And so that's why I don't eat soy anymore, but I still got a lot of love for soy because soy helped us make it to the next level. Soy milk, tofu really helped us get the plant based world off the ground. Seriously. As time went on, I found out that I can get food at an Indian restaurant and I can get food at an Ethiopian restaurant and I could get better food at a Thai restaurant than a Chinese restaurant. So those are the three restaurants. If you're trying to go plant based, you want to go out on a date, you want to go get something to eat. Let's say your wife still eat meat and you're trying to change, or your husband eat meat, you're trying to change. These are the three places you could go where you both could eat. Ethiopian restaurant, Thai restaurant, and an Indian restaurant. Those restaurants can feed you if you're plant based and they don't do no cross contamination. Chinese restaurants, there might be some cross contamination. Thailand is one of the biggest vegan locations in the world. Did you know that? Did you know Thailand is one of the top vegan spots in the world? Seriously. Check it out. Yes, Thailand is considered a very vegan friendly destination, particularly in larger cities like Bangkok, with many traditional Thai dishes being easily adaptable to vegan eating styles, a large selection of vegetarian restaurants, and a cultural understanding of plant based eating due to Buddhist practices. However, it's important to be mindful of potential fish sauce or other animal products in some dishes and to specify vegan options when ordering. Key points about veganism in Thailand. Buddhist influence. Many Thai Buddhists practice vegetarianism, making plant based options readily available. Vegan friendly dishes. A large portion of classic Thai cuisine can be made vegan with ingredients like tofu, coconut milk, and vegetables. Dedicated vegan restaurants. Major cities in Bangkok and Chiang Mai have a wide range of fully vegan restaurants. J concept. The term J refers to Buddhist vegan diet, which is recognized in Thai culture. Potential challenges. While many dishes are vegan friendly, some may contain fish sauce and other animal products, so it's important to communicate dietary needs when ordering. And so they are very, when you go to the Thai restaurants, one thing you will see anytime you go in a Thai restaurant, if you look up on the shelves, you're going to see these dishes with these like gods in them or something. And there's going to be plant food in there. So there's going to be like vegetables as they offering to these gods. That's why I lean towards the Thai because it's a part of their religion to not harm animals and do nothing to animals. So Thailand, what I read to you didn't really give you the real full. Thailand got everything, vegan ice cream shops, vegan everything in Thailand. Trust me when I'm telling you. It's like a vegan paradise. And so the Thai people, they already know and they sell a lot of vegan food because in Buddhism they don't even believe in stepping on bugs or anything like that. They Buddhists come out and sweep the bugs off to the side before they walk. They have a broom, they sweep in front of them to make sure they don't harm no creature. That's the margin. I thought so. Yeah, it's Willow Run. I kept saying Willowbrook. No, it's Willow Run. It's Willow Run. That's it. I could tell by the box. This was the only margin, and I had to go here to get it or the health food store on East 95th Street. One or the other. Let me see if I can find that health food store. I think it's Southwest. Yeah, it's Southwest. Southwest health food store. Yeah, Southwest health food store is yeah, Southwest health food store. I found it. Is a place that used to have it over on East 95th Street. Would have what we needed. Let's see if I can find their picture to make this even more historical. So that's another. If you're in the Chicago area, Southwest Insurance was the place where I had to go to get the food. I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of the front of the store. But it's right there on 95th, East 95th Street. And they've been a big help, a huge help. It's right before you get to Evergreen Plaza. I got to go follow them. They are on Instagram. It's a great store. Oh, this says Southtown. I don't want to go to Southtown. This is not it. I don't know, man. I don't think this is it. Southtown. They said Southtown. Mm, maybe it is Southtown. It seems like about the right address. Yeah, this is them. They're in the Beverly area. Southtown. Let me give them some props, y'all, for historical purposes. The only thing strange about Southtown is that they close when everybody gets off work. It's the strangest. When you get off work, they're closed, which go figure. Think about that. Let me give them some shine, though, for historical purposes. I haven't been over there in years. But they have been serving the community. I got a lot of love for them. If you're in Chicago, they're over there west in the Beverly area, right before you get to Western. This is them right here. Southtown Health Food Store. That's the health food store right in front. This is where you park. It's the parking lot. And that's where you go in. And Southtown and Sherwins were the only people that carried margarine back in 1979, 1980, 1981. You had to go to one of those. And it was like, oh my God, finally you got some margarine to put on your toast or something to put in your baked potato. But when we couldn't get it, we used nutritional yeast. So this is for historical records. Yeah, Southtown Health, right there. They fed us a long time, and they have a nice selection. There was only certain health food stores that would have a wide selection back in the day. The rest of them just had a juice bar and a lot of vitamins. Juice bar, a lot of vitamins, stuff like almonds, cashews, stuff like that that people would get to make their own nut milk. But they didn't have. But these two, Sherwin's in Southtown, you could actually cook if you went there. They actually had the ingredients to help you be able to cook a meal at those two. So that was the struggles of being plant based at the time. This is way before Whole Foods. Now they have a store here that's all plant based, and I'm bogus. I haven't went yet. You know what I'm saying? But I need to go. I haven't been yet, which is a shame. You know, it's called X Market. Y'all know about X Market? Well, X Market is totally vegan, and it's a shame I haven't went yet. I don't know why it'd be slipping my mind. Think about it. I am going to go this week now that I'm talking about it. I haven't been in there yet, but the difference between X Market and Whole Foods is X Market is all vegan. The whole place is plant based. I haven't been there yet, but I do really need to go. Seriously, I definitely need to go to X Market. Right? Let me give them some shine too for historical purposes, for all the great work they're doing, and I will be going through there I'll tell you what I thought about it. But that's a big step up. Shout out to X Market. I gotta go. They've been open now for a few years. I'm foul. I should have been went through there. It just never crossed my mind. I never seen one when I'm driving. Uh, okay, they opened in 2021. So they opened in 2021, and I got to look up the address and go through there. Let's read Veg News. Here we go, right here. Veg News. Shout out to Veg News. X Market. Sneak peek Chicago's first vegan food hall. X Market just announced its sixth restaurants. With this opening just days away, X Market Vegan Food Hall unveiled its restaurant lineup, and taco, sushi, deep dish pizza are on the menu. This was September 2023. So they haven't been open that long, but here it says Chicago's cuisine has made a name for itself with the likes of deep dish pizza and Chicago style hot dogs. And in recent years, the city's appetite for plant based eats has been on the rise. Since 2021, locals have welcomed and embraced Chicago's first vegan ice cream shop, the city's first plant based Mexican restaurant. Oh, they got some good food. And even the country's first vegan empanada shop. Soon, Chicago will also be home to the largest vegan food hall in the Midwest, slated to open October 5th. The X Market Vegan Food Hall boasts 6,500 square feet and can seat up to 375 people. The X Market Vegan Food Hall is the latest concept by Plant X, a digital lifestyle platform and e-commerce site committed to making plant-based lifestyle more accessible. To bring the concept to fruition, Plant X tapped Micromia Group industry experts well versed in launching food halls. The vegan food hall will house six unique restaurant concepts alongside a plant based grocery store, complete with its own vegan cheesemonger and a wine and beer bar. While the food hall's restaurant lineup has been highly anticipated since the news broke early this summer, Chicago locals may already be familiar with the recently announced restaurant making X Market Vegan Food Hall their new home. The plant based restaurants at X Market Vegan Food Hall. Among the food hall's six restaurants is Kale My Name, a beloved globally inspired vegan eatery that has garnered a cult following. Who else? Just talking about Kale My Name. Bloom Plant Based Kitchen is there. Chicago Not Dogs is there. El Hongo Magico Taqueria, Taqueria, Taqueria is there with the tacos. So yeah, I'm gonna go through there and check it out and see what's going on with it. It's probably gonna be a good place for me to shop. They might have what I've been looking for because I've been looking for this non tofu. I've been looking for this non soy tofu. So they might have that. I need that for my workout. So I'm gonna go through there and see if I can find this because I ordered it from one place and then they was going to DoorDash, but then they didn't have it. So check this out when you get a chance. Soy-free tofu. Okay, soy-free tofu by Big Mountain. Okay, 64 grams of protein per pack. So if you're working out and you want to get your protein, if you're a man and you're afraid that maybe the soy might have too much estrogen, this is the new product that's sweeping for the bodybuilders and the people that work out that's plant-based, and that's this soy-free tofu. I haven't been able to find it, but I'm gonna probably go over there to Planet X and find it. It's made by Big Mountain Foods, so get to check that out when you get a chance. If you're trying to be in shape and work out, check it out. And we'll read a little something about the Chicago Diner. The Chicago Diner, meat free since 1983. When Hornick and his partner chef Joe Kosher opened the restaurant in 1983, critics, loan officers, and family members alike scoffed at the idea, some vehemently. It's like we were going against apple pie and mom and the whole thing, Hornick recalled. Big shot advertising guys came in and said, "You're pissing against the wind." Their answer was to create an atmosphere as American as mini malls by decorating the place with vintage ads and neon lights and serving heaping helpings of comfort food, but without the meat. Instead of burgers, we have veggie burgers, explained Culture, who together with the long line of collaborators in the kitchen created the diner's menu and authored the Chicago Diner cookbooks. Instead of French fries, we serve home fries, she added. They also offer vegan milkshakes and a radical Reuben with homemade seasoning in place of corned beef, biscuits and vegetarian gravy, and chicken fingers for the kids. I mean, the radical Reuben is one of the best plant-based sandwiches you ever gonna get your hands on. So go check them out. They got this building, and then up in the building, they make their stuff upstairs in the building. So upstairs, on the top floors of this building, upstairs, they make all their stuff. These two restaurants make their stuff. The Chicago Diner and Soul Veg, which used to be Soul Vegetarian, they make everything from scratch. Seriously. They got both of them got some serious cooks. So look, I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you support the channel. Cash App, PayPal. Make sure you eat right and take care of yourself because health is all you got. That's all you got in this world is your health. And make sure you get a copy of The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan to help you eat better, okay? V is for victory and for vegan.
Peace, health, and longevity. If you want to consume more plant-based foods, if you want to abstain from junk foods, if you want to consume fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and herbs, and avoid dead flesh, artificial flavors and colorings, sweeteners, anything that is unreal basically, purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan by Pharaoh Ramesses El Aton, who has been a vegan 40 plus years. He will take you step by step on how to abstain from the junk foods, how to abstain from the dead flesh, the chicken, the turkey, the pork, beef, and all sorts of animal products. Purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan, to eat more natural. Remember that the herbs are for the healing of the nations. Let food be your medicine and let medicine be your food. Consume of every fruit-bearing and herb-bearing tree. Unto you it shall be for meat. Purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan, by Pharaoh Ramses Elaton. Peace, health, and longevity.